Hello, darlings, and welcome to CareOffBook. It's me, Care Darling, your performing arts commentator. And listen, okay, so this video, it came out not too long ago. It's with Carrie Fletcher, and I feel like what she says is a huge conversation to have. So let's go ahead, let's react to what she says, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts, okay?
I'm going to say something potentially controversial. I'm just going to say it fast and hope that nobody comes for me.
Say it, girl.
I think we're living in a time of musical theatre where opting up and riffing have become the main focus as opposed to telling the story. Now, don't get me wrong. I absolutely think that opting up and riffing absolutely have their place in musical theatre. However, I think if it's at the detriment to the story that you're meant to be telling in the song, what's the point in doing a musical? We might as well just do a play. Because
I understand what you're saying. There have been times where I went to go see a show where it's like I'm ready for the story and then someone does like a riff or something and it does take me out of the show because I'm like, whoa, oh, okay. Or it was something that I was like, oh, that's new. And so, yeah, I'm like, I've been in that situation.
I personally believe that the reason we get to a song within the story and the reason that we start singing in the first place is because speaking the words would no longer convey the correct emotion. The emotion has become so much bigger than just talking.
And I think that's why I love musical theater. And that's something like when I talk to people who don't know the craft or don't understand musical theater, to them, they're like, oh, they're just singing a song. And I'm like, no, no, no. Like if you understand the art form, it's like what got them to a place where it's like talking is no longer needed. Like they have to sing it, or like what is the emotion that like made them get into this song and stuff. So yes, Carrie, yes.
We have to sing it in order for the audience to feel the right thing. And I guess my fear is that we are falling into this mindset collectively as an industry where we would prefer the audience to come away from a show thinking that we were good and impressive vocalists rather than good and impressive storytellers. And of course, the majority of us are always striving for both. But when we live in the day and age of social media where we see compilations on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram constantly about which Veronica Sawyer riffed the best at the end of Beautiful, which Elphaba riffed the best at the end of No Good Deed.
Oh my gosh, first off, what is going to happen in the movie? Listen, I'm not innocent in this. Like, I've watched the compilations, but I have to say, I don't think it's about, I think one was like Evita and comparing it to Patti LuPone, but it wasn't about like the riffing. It was like who could hit that really high note, yes. And also another one was seeing like what compilation have I done? Oh, watching others do popular. And it wasn't about the riffing, but I was like comparing as far as like comedic timing. And then who was it I liked? I liked like of course Kristen Chenoweth. Like to me, she's perfection. But Annalie, like I thought she was really good in it. And then who else? Megan Hilty. Okay. Moving on.
You can't help but fall into this mindset of, well, that I have to just find a riff and I have to nail that riff every night, whether it's to the detriment of the song and the storytelling and the emotion or not. Now, I love an option up or a riff as much as the next person. However, if I went to go and see a show and someone sang the song exactly as it was written without any fancy frills, but they gave the most heartbreaking or joyous or whatever emotion they were meant to be portraying performance within that song, who cares?
Agreed.
Who cares what riff they did or didn't do? Who cares what option up they did or didn't do? If I felt all the right things, isn't that the point of musical theatre?
Okay, so that's what Carrie had to say. And I was like, I feel you, because I feel like the attention is going to the wrong thing, right? Where it's like you're working on your technique and stuff. And I do think of the vocalist Cheryl, right?
Keep it precise, real clean, let's go.
Where she has the different exercises to help people with their technique, but then it turns into, oh, can I riff here and here and here? And then it gets really distracting. And something I want to point out is that, so Wicked, right? We know the Idina Menzel call, right? It's our musical theater call. And so it's like, that is what we know. And stuff. So then it's like, Cynthia Erivo comes in, and there was a discussion of like, what is the riff going to be? Because it's like, this is the new Elphaba, right? Now a lot of people know this riff. Now, I will say this is something I found so interesting, was that when we heard the new riff, a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people were like, I prefer this, yada, yada. They had their opinions. But it wasn't until that they watched the movie that they're like, I can't hear any other riff. And it's like, why? Because that riff that Cynthia chose matched her character throughout the movie. And so when she finally does it, we were like, yes, Elphaba, yes, let it out, right? And so what worked for Idina, we felt the same way for her. So I think in the sense, it wasn't Cynthia coming in being like, I have to top Idina. It's like, what makes sense for this Elphaba? And so I'm like, that's totally fair. That's totally valid. But anyways, I guess I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions as far as what Carrie has said. And listen, sure, I can't riff. So maybe I feel a sense of like, yes, storytelling. But again, like, I feel like I'm just repetitive, that I'm like, I do feel like I am taken out of the show when people are more into like, oh, can I do a quick note here, this, that, and then I kind of get like lost with the story, and not in a good way. I'm not lost in the story. I just get lost of like, what's going on. Anyways, darlings, if you love talking about musicals, Disney, and other performances, don't forget to like and subscribe. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. And without further ado, take care, darling.